Hello guys, zip through film history with flashback flicks, subscribe for the ride. Prepare to be captivated as we explore the enchanting world of Leo, the tale centered around a lizard who has been stuck in the Florida's school for decades. When he learns he only has 1 year left to live, he dreams of escaping to freedom, but instead, finds himself on an unexpected mission to rescue his class from their terribly mean substitute teacher. Our tale begins in elementary school, where we met Leo and Squirtle, who are the pets of the 5th graders, have lived inside a terrarium for decades. Leo and Squirtle are excited for the new batch of students. As they observe, they see every type of student in this year's class: the patriot, the class clown, the popular girl, and the chatterbox who can't stop talking. On the very first day of school, Mrs. Salinas reveals that at the end of the year, there will be a competition. The winning class will earn a special excursion. Over the next 2 months, the 3 5th grade classes will compete in arts, rhetoric, science, and history. The class that excels in these activities will win a trip to Magic Land Park. As Leo and Squirtle observe Mrs. Salinas, they come to a surprising conclusion that the teacher is pregnant, as she can't stop eating the students' snacks and ends up vomiting in the classroom trash can. In the evening, the principal holds a parent-teacher meeting to inform the parents about Mrs. Salinas's maternity leave. The parents express their concerns, as they did not like the substitute teacher who had taught their children in grade 3. The principal tries to calm them down, assuring them that he will select a suitable substitute for the class. Looking at the pets, some parents wonder how long they've been trapped inside, and Leo discovers that lizards of his species live for an average of 75 years. At that moment, he remembers that he's been living in that aquarium for decades and searches his memory to see when he got there. In doing so, he remembers that he arrived there as a hatchling in October 1949. The next day, he starts counting all the years to determine his age, but Leo has forgotten basic math. Squirtle tells him that the basics are taught in grade 2, so the pets in that class might know how to calculate age. To meet the other pets, Leo devises a foolproof plan. He uses his long tongue to trigger the fire alarm. All the classrooms are evacuated, and the pets are gathered in one place. Leo talks to Cinnabon, the 2nd grade pet rabbit, to find out how old he is, since 2nd grade is where they teach math. Cinnabon reveals that the lizard is 74 years old. When Leo returns to the room, he is deeply saddened, knowing that his time is running out. He believes he will pass away next year when he turns 75. Despite Squirtle's attempt to comfort him by pointing out that captive animals often live longer than their wild counterparts, Leo remains disheartened. He laments having spent his entire life in the terrarium, regretting that he never had the freedom to choose his own food or the chance to find a mate and have offspring. While Leo is reflecting on all the experiences he has missed, Miss Malkin enters the classroom with an imposing presence and introduces herself as the new substitute teacher. On her very first day, the elderly woman announces that she will overhaul the teaching methods used by Mrs. Salinas. She declares that from now on, every Friday, a student will be required to take one of the pets home. When Squirtle hears this, he despairs, recalling the hardships he endured when students previously took them home. In contrast, Leo is thrilled by the change, seeing it as a chance to escape when the children are distracted. He believes that this opportunity might allow him to experience life fully before he turns 75. Summer volunteers to take the pet home. Squirtle wishes Leo good luck and advises him to beware of wild animals. Summer has a warm family and a cozy room. She puts Leo in a safe place and goes downstairs. Leo notices an open window and prepares to escape. He starts climbing the wall but is too slow. While Summer spends time with her family, several hours pass, and Leo covers only half of the distance. When Summer returns to her room and notices that Leo is missing, she starts to panic. In her distress, she accidentally hits Leo, and he lands back near his cage. Frustrated, Leo accidentally speaks. He tries to convince Summer that the statue speaks, but mistakenly speaks again. Summer is shocked to hear a talking animal and panics, but Leo asks her not to tell anyone. He lies, saying she is special and the only human who can hear him. Touched by the compliment, as she has never felt special before, Summer shares her problem with Leo. She tells him she doesn't know how much she should talk. Leo explains that if she enjoys talking about herself, others do too, and she should give them a chance as well. He suggests that asking questions is a good way to make others feel comfortable around her. Summer thanks Leo for the advice and goes to sleep. On Monday, Summer takes Leo back to school. When the classroom is empty, Squirtle asks his friend why he hasn't escaped. Leo reveals that he enjoyed spending the weekend with Summer. But next time he will make his escape. On the next weekend, Summer volunteers again to take Leo home, but Miss Malkin wants another child to do so. Eli volunteers and takes Leo home, but his overprotective parents don't let him have any fun. Eli's friend comes over to play, but Eli's parents insist he wear a protective suit to avoid germs from Leo, and they even make the dog wear a suit. Additionally, Eli is always accompanied by an AI robot that does everything for him. This arrangement isn't as ideal as it seems, as Eli never gets to enjoy activities on his own. His friend feels uncomfortable in these circumstances and leaves earlier than planned. Once Eli is alone, Leo seizes the opportunity to escape. He manages to get out of his box, but his tail gets stuck in the robot vacuum, causing a mess in the living room. Leo's tail gets cut off, but fortunately, it will grow back. Eli finds Leo and puts a bandage on his tail. Leo accidentally speaks again and repeats the lie that Eli is the only special child he talks to. Eli, feeling comfortable, expresses his frustration about the AI robot always being around him and not knowing how to tell it to stay away without hurting its feelings. Leo suggests that Eli write a letter. After reading the letter, the AI robot starts giving Eli the personal space he desires. Finally, Eli gets to enjoy his life and make some friends. On Monday, when Leo meets his friend again, he reveals that he hasn't managed to escape once more, and Squirtle becomes worried when he realizes that Leo has lost part of his tail during the week. Dr. Winger, Jada's father, goes to speak with the school principal, trying to convince him to find another replacement for Mrs. Salinas because his daughter won't stop complaining about Miss Malkin. The following weekend, Jada decides to take Leo home with her, as she realizes that her two classmates really enjoyed his company. That Saturday is Jada's birthday party, and she is very sad because nothing is going according to plan. Leo decides to console her and once again convinces Jada that she is the only one who can hear him, just as he did with the other two teenagers. At the same time, he helps Jada deal with her existential crisis. Jada has always believed she needed to be perfect and that everyone had to like her, which led her to put too much pressure on herself. Leo helps her understand that she's just a normal teenager and doesn't need to be perfect to gain approval, as this pressure makes her unhappy. After hearing this, Jada decides to relax and enjoy her party. During the celebration, Leo rests in his glass cage while observing the animals trapped inside an enclosure, struggling to reach the leftover food thrown by the children. These animals were brought in as an attraction for the party guests but are clearly unhappy. Realizing this, Jada and her friends decide to work together to free them by opening the automatic doors of the enclosure. The animals rush out and begin devouring the food prepared for the guests, causing the guests to flee in panic. Leo seizes the opportunity to escape and feels proud seeing the animals running freely from the mansion. However, when he hears the youngsters calling his name, the lizard gives up his escape and returns to Jada's arms, who is overjoyed to see him. Over the next few weeks, all the children in the class get the chance to take Leo home, and they grow very fond of him. Seeing Leo receiving presents from the students, Squirtle realizes that the lizard has been communicating with them, which is why he always returns to school instead of running away. Leo explains that he has grown attached to the students and has been secretly helping them with their fears and insecurities. Leo just wants the kids to remember something good about him after he dies. Once all the children have had their turn with Leo, it's Anthony's responsibility to take care of him. Leo feels anxious, as Anthony is known as the notorious school bully. This time, Squirtle sneaks in with Leo to show that he can also help the kids. Unfortunately, not everyone is a good listener. Anthony gets very angry at Squirtle's useless talk and punishes him. Later that night, Leo takes his turn to speak with Anthony. He tells Anthony that there's a good side to him and that he still has time to change and enjoy his childhood before it's too late. Anthony softens and decides to make an effort to improve himself. The following week, as all the students have already taken Leo home, Miss Malkin reveals that the children will now take Squirtle home for the next few weekends. However, none of the students want to take the turtle, even though they all like Leo. Realizing how attached the children are to Leo, Miss Malkin decides to use this to motivate her students to win the academic championship. She says that if they don't win the competition, they'll never be able to take Leo home again. This serves as an incentive for the kids, and they begin to study twice as hard to win the championship. As time goes by, Leo and the students become increasingly close, with some even gifting Leo cell phones to talk to them at night. However, since none of the students know that Leo is talking to their classmates, Leo has to divide his attention between them without arousing suspicion. Furious at Leo's popularity, Squirtle records a video of Leo chatting with one of the students and sends it to the whole class. The children discover that Leo has been lying to them. The kids confront Leo, each believing they were the only special one he talked to. It's Friday, but no one takes him home. Finally, Ms. Malkin arrives and takes Leo home. She shows him the yearbooks and reveals that she used to be a sweet student, shaped by her kind teachers, but now she's just a substitute. Leo understands her loneliness and suffering and advises her to be the teacher she had as a kid. If she wants praise, she must work for it. It's the last month of the academic year, and the kids compete with other sections, ultimately winning the Best Class Award and the fun trip. Ms. Malkin is declared the best teacher and becomes overwhelmed with praise, deciding to take all the credit. She tells Leo that the class lost the competition because of him, then leaves him in the wild and returns home. At first, Leo suffers, but he soon meets several friendly animals. The other two Ataras tell him that 75 is not the average age and they may live up to 100+ years. After hearing this, Leo wishes he could spend those years with the kids. Meanwhile, Ms. Malkin tells the kids that Leo left by himself, but Squirtle knows the truth. He regrets what he did and decides to fix his mistake. With help from Eli's drone, he reaches the school bus heading to the theme park. Squirtle tells the kids everything and forces Ms. Malkin to apologize. They trick the sports teacher driving the bus and take over, heading to the wild. After scaring away the crocodiles, they find Leo's shed skin and assume he's dead. They all confess how Leo helped them lead better lives. Just then, Leo falls out of a tree, and the whole class is relieved to know that he is alive. Jada reveals that she and her classmates went there to see their old friend before he turned 75. At this point, Leo reveals that he still has many years of life ahead of him, and everyone celebrates the wonderful news. Suddenly, Squirtle appears and asks for forgiveness for snitching on his friend. At the end of the school year, Mrs. Salinas visits her old class and brings her baby so the students can meet him during graduation. After receiving their diplomas, the students say goodbye to Leo and Squirtle, as they will be attending high school at another school. On that day, Ms. Malkin learns that she will have the chance to teach her own class next year and convinces the principal to allow Leo and Squirtle to accompany her. Throughout their time with Leo, the students learned valuable lessons about empathy, friendship, and overcoming insecurities. Leo's wisdom and guidance helped them grow into better versions of themselves, leaving a lasting impact on their lives. This has been a recap of Leo movie. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more exciting stories from Flashback Flicks. See you next time.